For the purpose of this video, I will be using my own custom tones and patches. I'm recording with Reason 7 and the Line 6 amp sim, as well as a Pod XT, in order to create more custom tones. I will also be adding some acoustic tones as well, just to give you an idea of how it sounds without any effects, just a direct feed. This is also being recorded in mono, both my voice and the guitar. What that means, essentially, is that the sound source is center panned and not to the left or to the right as traditionally done in studio recordings. I purchased this guitar on eBay as part of the promotional auction. I live in Ottawa, Canada, and it took about 8 days to ship and be processed through customs. The customs fee was $69 for a grand total of approximately $410 Canadian. The guitar has a mahogany body with a maple neck, rosewood fretboard. The scale is 27 inches with 24 frets. The guitar comes standard with a graphite nut, Grover tuners, a bolt-on neck with 5 bolts, stock Kraken pickups, 1 volume, 1 tone control, a 3-way toggle switch, as well as a push-pull coil tap. The materials are of good quality. The mahogany body sounds nice and bright, played acoustically. The fretboard is smooth and fast, and the fretwork is solid and even. It took me a few hours to get used to the thickness of the neck, as I went from a 7-string to an 8-string. The neck is also very comfortable, so there wasn't too much adjustment to be made. The nut is cut for a 68 gauge string. I ended up filing it out a little to accommodate a larger gauge string, as I found that the 68 was a little floppy at the tension of the 27 inches. When I first played this guitar, I did not find the bridge comfortable. I had difficulty with palm muting, but after a few hours, I had adapted to the shape of the bridge and the positioning of it. The setup right out of the box was decent, great action and relief. The only issue was the intonation of the F sharp. I ended up having to add all of the string spacing available to get it in tone correctly. All the other strings just needed minor adjustments. The Kraken Octa ships with 10 gauge to 68 gauge clear tone strings. I won't say anything about them, as it's just personal opinion. Many people have been discussing the pickup placement, as it is a little further up on the body than pickups usually are. I have not found this to be detrimental to the sound. Of course, it does change some characteristics of the output. You be the judge. The pickups are passive Kraken stock. They actually surprised me. They are quite close to the Agile stock pickups, in sound and characteristic. All of the strings sounded clear and articulate, save for the F sharp. It sounds a little undefined, muddy, and has little to no punch. Forget power chords on the F sharp until you swap the pickups out. Here's an example of the F sharp and C sharp power chord played at a couple of different velocities. I'll start slow, build up, and also give a little more time in order so that you can hear how it actually affects the tone with the vibration of the string. For this example, I will first play with distortion, and then I will play acoustic, direct inject, no effects. I personally play extreme metal and have found in order to get good clean sound out of the F sharp, I needed to play less aggressively or simply hit only the F sharp root note. If you're looking to use this guitar as an extended range jazz guitar, this will do just fine. The shielding on this guitar leaves something to be desired, as there is no shielding. I will be installing conductive copper tape in order to address this issue. Here is an example of the hum produced in all 3 pickup positions. I will also add the 3 different pickup positions with the coil tap as well. For this purpose, I'm using a high gain patch in order to accentuate the hum. Please note that the amount of hum will be different based on the amount of gain you have dialed in, your volume, your bass, mid, treble, presence, and resonance. There are other contributing factors as well, so take this with a grain of salt. As I have said, I am using a high gain patch, and for this purpose I am turning the gain all the way up to 10, the volume all the way up to 10, and the bass, mid, treble, resonance, and presence all the way up. These are not ideal settings for a distortion patch. Again, this is just to demonstrate the amount of hum that can come through these pickups. Here's the bridge in parallel and series. Here's the bridge and neck in parallel and series. And here's the neck in parallel and in series. To demonstrate the difference between a completely maxed out distortion patch and something that would be of moderate gain, moderate volume, and moderate mids, bass, and treble, I'm going to do the same thing with just the patch that I was using before. I will quickly cycle through the different voicings and the coil tappings just to give you an idea. Here's the bridge in parallel and series. Here's the bridge and neck in parallel and series. And here's the neck in parallel and in series. As you can clearly see, there's a little more hum in series on all the voicings. There is virtually no hum when playing acoustic. I would record it and show you, but it would just be dead air. The coil tap produces parallel or series coil tapping. What this means is that when the coil tap is engaged, you are using the inner coil for a quieter yet brighter tone with emphasis on the higher frequencies. Here are the sonic differences. Here is the bridge in series. Here is the bridge in parallel. Here is both bridge and neck in series. Here is both bridge and neck in parallel. And here is neck in series. And here is neck in parallel. All in all, I have to say that this is a very decent guitar for the price that I picked it up at. If you have any electronics experience or expertise, and also any luthier experience and expertise, I would definitely recommend picking up this guitar, as it is quite a decent value for what was paid. With a little bit of modification and a little know-how, this can be a gem. I hope you enjoyed this review. Feel free to check out some of my other material at soundcloud.com/Siegert.